You know goddamn well. Yeah, listen. Oh my God. I've been talking for over an hour and I didn't even hit the goddamn live. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Oh my. Oh, I gotta go back all over this shit again. Oh my gosh. Okay. Listen. Damn, I fucked up. Oh, big brother probably. I'll just tell you again. So, what I was saying is, for the people that desire the truth about what happened, because there is a, and to me, um, I think that people are placing the right amount of concern to the part of how did it get from the parent to our Kelly. I mean, and even I would even throw in what that girl name is. I still like that girl name. It started with an A. The dark skinned girl that was winding it up with that guy looking like she was possessed in that cage. I want to know, how did she click up with Tim? How y'all on the damn what up here, purple? How y'all up here together, right? That's what I've been talking the whole hour. I have all that what the hell I said. So anyway, right? What I was saying is this in the beginning. Right about now, I've been turning this into a whole damn study, right? Y'all got the best information. Y'all get the best information, and I can figure it out, right? And y'all help me figure it out and put me on the right path, right? Because y'all be paying attention to everything. And I haven't cared in a long time about none of this. But what I was saying is this. Oh, God, I won't miss nothing. So, what I was trying to talk about is, what's the best way to figure out what the hell happened? Because this is what I do know. Okay, I told you, I don't believe nobody on either side is telling 100% the truth. The prosecutors have to piece a lot of things together to form a case, and it's usually circumstantial. But they got to sit up there and do what I do and figure it out. Because not all the time you're going to have the smoking gun. So what happens is they have a lot of evidence that they try to get in to do what? Support the facts, support um and the elements of their story. Well, I'm so goddamn mad. Oh Lord, I don't put up. I don't play Mr. Big and everything, and sung it wrong, and R. Kelly came on and sung it right. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it's not to me. He got like two or three songs with that same melody and shit, and I was getting the words wrong. And then when I played the Contagious video and shit like that, he ain't in no damn closet. So what closet, Mr. Big and Contagious and shit? And where's Kelly Price crying in the car at? What's the name of the man? Probably look at me and say, ain't no way in hell. We're in the same age group, and you're on the words of my song. And you know what? Sir, listen, sir. I didn't listen to all that nasty shit. Okay. I didn't remember what I saw. I'm thinking, um, well, why is Kelly Price crying in the car? What sparkle there? Was she driving somewhere? And when is R. Kelly in the closet? And I played the Contagious video 4 goddamn minutes waiting for R. Kelly to be in the closet. All for R. Kelly not to be in the closet. R. Kelly on top of that woman. Must have been. So anyway, what I was saying is this, right? I wouldn't believe nothing out here, right? Here's the reason. I don't give a damn. You put me in there too. I don't give a damn. Reason being this, right? When it comes to the nature of objectivity and subjectivity, right? Although, depending on whatever have you GPS your life, you know, it determines, how you do things, how you know what I'm trying to say, right? So we were told that you're supposed to be objective if you just want to get down to the truth or whatever, right? That's all in the beginning, that's all they said. Well, come to find out, even being objective can fall prey to subjectivity. How is that? Here's the thing, right? Depending on who it is and what it is, you it's going to depend on who it is and what it is to you. You're going to be objective, but some subjectivity could play a part in there. And then what happens? You have what? You end up having what? Bad facts. That's what I named it. Okay, a long time ago. Bad facts. You might a person one with the good facts and one with the bad facts. Y'all may arrive at the right decision based on facts, but you have bad facts because of how you feel and who it is, right? So now the challenges are like, okay, you got your friend's son or something caught up in some bullshit where they given, 5 years for. You can think, okay, let me help out and get them into a juvenile program, and he's 19. Okay, which he should be locked up in an adult jail, okay, where he is present. So you have that. And another thing, right? I wouldn't depend on anything when you see how the structure is, how this landscape is out here, right? Again, most people don't spend their entire life or a year or 2 or 3 out their life trying to make someone look bad because they don't fell out or whatever, right? Uh-uh. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know what that is, but you best believe, right? Now, if they're a decent person, they will what? They will gravitate to the part of what? Goodwill, right? But we all know out here, out the side, y'all heavy, y'all are heavily invested in um smear campaigns, right? I ain't taking up for them, but I'm just saying what it is. Okay, I'm not speaking on really nobody's situation. Now I'm being what? Subjective. Because what? I can raise my hand. Oh, it happened to me. So that's what I'm saying. And it's always the same people. Go figure. Like, okay, at some point you be like, wait a minute. That's what if you had people that was still remaining objective and then, but then you understand what I'm saying? And the campaigns are easily to spot and easily to fuck over because what they it's like the same playbook. Go after the credentials, make them feel like a liar, make you seem like you're telling the truth every day, all day, and around the clock. And they did this, they did this when they was 4. Now they doing this when they motherfucking 64 and all that kind of bullshit. Listen. Unless you are the popo, I don't know nobody that will invest a year or 2 or 3 in fucking up somebody, fucking up their reputation. I don't understand how that works or whatever. I mean, I understand how it works, but it's easy to, get rid of that. Okay? It's easy to get rid of that goddamn campaign, depending on where you're at now. Okay? Think about it. If you in an area where education ain't that popular, being a dirty foul motherfucker is, then you just deal with you that man hey, whatever. All you got is thank God you got facts and you know you could start looking at everybody else's reputation. Pull it out. Well, hold on. Okay, let's do smear campaign for smear campaign. Come on. Okay, that's what I thought. Get your ass on. Okay. But what I was saying is like on my regular life, social media, baby, we some chatty damn patties. That's what we would be called. Cause we over there, we done told everything we don't learn from whomever. If anybody got a deal going on, whatever, we out there, we networking. We talking to each other. We done told we all know each other's motherfucking business and shit. Okay? What we did yesterday, what we did. Yeah, I mean, we done told everything. And I was on that trajectory until I started seeing how this shit go. And I started harkening back to those who warned me. Don't do this. Don't do that. This person is this. This person is that. And I'm like, listen, because guess what? I have more objectivity. I have a level of objectivity. All the way up to what? Training. Okay? So it's a little different if you get say somebody just an ordinary person, whatever. Even if they don't have a dog in the fight, shit, it's the campaign. really skew them toward the campaign, right? And they be pro that campaign. So yeah, so yeah, like over the child, let me tell you, all my friends, family, men, whatever, but they know how to get to the goddamn truth. Why? Because I told them how to do it. Police man, hey man, we met. Why did we met at? We was taking my side class. Okay, I was teaching a little side class in the state. Okay, on that, and it was only offered up to the prosecutors, which is paid by who? Okay, but those. So anyway, so but what? Oh, listen, we don't have no goddamn secrets or whatever. We chatty patty. Everybody know everything about everybody. That's up in on my Facebook, on my this, on my that, baby. We that's just what it is. But here's the thing, right? With this story, when I saw the interview with R. Kelly, I felt like he told the truth at some moments. He exaggerated at some moments, and he lied at some moments, and it was all performative, most of it. Okay, because of what we know now. What have we seen now? Okay, I knew from somebody giving me some intel that I relied on that he was desperate. Now I knew that before I had a channel. He was desperate. So when he gets out there and then you go and you take that back to the interview, which I can just tell, just looking at everybody, I'm like, okay. So the part that people that know about all this and can retain that retained all this stuff, got all this stuff, y'all got the shit in order, whatever. In my opinion, you would have to do a timeline from how many people got from the parents to our kids, right? They'll be on my timeline. I remember a long time ago, you say, okay, about timeline, work it backwards, then work it forward, right? It's just my shit that I developed, right? I'm not gonna do that because I don't have to do that. The most y'all gonna kill me. The most solid piece of evidence that is out here is the what? Y'all can kill me. Is a damn text messages. Yeah. If I want to get down, really get down to it, I'm stopping text messages. Okay. Because here's what I know, right? This is what I know. The part about him, about parents selling their children to him, that's a lie. I don't believe that. And here's how I can confirm that, right? You remember? Let's go back when Azrael and Joycelyn was talking to Gail King. And Azrael was was alluding to that they parents, was her parents were tricking her out for money and whatever, right? It seemed like, what it would marry what R. Kelly said, right? Well, here's the thing, right? This is what I don't know if anybody paid attention. You have Joycelyn saying what she said, the same thing about my parents too, right? I'm like, oh, here we go. Well, now, do you believe Mr. Tim sold his child? And what is so good about figuring out what really happened? Which that's what I think I get. I think I got beyond. I think I got it as far as I think I can get it. But you remember Mr. Tim? See, that's when you got to look at everything. You can't just look at one thing and just ride on to the goddamn um ride onto the damn courthouse with that. You got to look at everything. So I don't believe Mr. Tim had no time about no deals, no dildo, no money exchange, nothing. The first time I saw Mr. Tim, baby, is when he had a bet in front of that goddamn Mercedes. Then, yeah, the first time. Or maybe it might not be friend, but that was the first time I got damn like, oh shit, wait a minute, he looking for R. Kelly. He called him out by name. Called him out by name. And then let me support what I'm saying. In court, right? Although, okay, I don't know if Joycelyn's situation was, I don't think they mentioned her in bad, and it was bad acts, it was 4-4. Okay. So, anyway, so, I mean, that's crazy. Like, how, so then you see Mr. Claire enters the picture when this whole shit started developing. So I think it's so crazy that these people with the I don't know what it's called. I just call it when you motherfuckers are crazy and you should make better use of your time. But it'd be like Mr. Claire is the one that, told and all this. No. It started with Mr. Tim, which further tells me that he ain't sold no goddamn body. You know why? Because he is going all around the goddamn world into the police station, into this here, and the mama sick, and they keep calling the people on the phone. And if you done sold them, why the hell you harassing them, the people on the lawyers on the phone to get a contact with, and all this extra bullshit? Because none of them said, hey, none of them on that phone say, hey, a deal is a deal. You probably, this is what you, and I think she was 19, so hell, I mean, it's some kind of goddamn law against purchasing people, period. No matter what goddamn age you are. That would be a high crime song, but I'm pretty sure you can't purchase people. Or maybe you can, I don't know. It's not common. Okay. So what's the damn thing? If you got two now, and we got it's a whole bunch of, but two that up until that a certain point where their parents was very, very active in their life. Then all of a sudden it stops. And then you got hurt woman after woman after woman come up there saying damn near the same thing, especially the young one. Let's go forward. How do we know that telling people, especially young people, that your parents don't want you no more? Well, thanks to the goddamn children preference. Because guess what? That's like one of the top 5 things they tell the little kids before they grab their ass out the damn mall or from Walmart, right? They tell them, oh, your mom and dad done died and they told me to pick you up. Depending on the age, right? Because they pretty swift. Your mom and dad, your mom and dad done died. Wait a minute. Why did this come up with my shit? Yeah, your mom and dad done died, or they don't want you no more, or they told me to pick you up and take you to the toy store, the candy store, some shit like that, and so on and so forth, right? Then when if they're a little older, okay, because that's all part of the brainwashing mechanism of this shit of a predator. And when they get a little older, now it's, oh, they don't sold you, oh, I bought you, or some other kind of stuff like that, whatever. Now, here's the thing, right? Although Azrael is younger, I think she knew that her parents ain't sell her. I think that they almost, I don't know how long they've been treating her as like an adult on their level, but I think it's been a long time, right? And like she know how to navigate some parts. Okay, she ain't really believe that, right? But a little different with Jocelyn, right? Jocelyn wants to sing. They seem, I won't say sheltered, but 2-parent household, siblings, grandparents, that can cause a child to be to be sheltered, right? Because I'm sheltered. However, I'm in the hood for 14 years, right? I have a father or two of them that just tell me all about the good stuff, doing good, and all that type of stuff. I didn't don't didn't really understand, didn't really know what the nature of their business was until what I was a little old. I'm like, oh, right, and that happened. They back and forth in my mom, but the split. She'll be real nervous about them goddamn visitation. She'd be like, I'm like, why is she nervous about these damn, as a young child now? And so that's what I'm saying. My level of exposure, or as real level of exposure, and how much liberty she had. Well, she had a car. She had some liberty, right? Okay. So I was like, when I didn't really get the gist of what the hell was going on till I was like 16 or 17 years old. I didn't know what the hell was going on. All I know is, you know, shit, I mean, and then and then you know how your parents are, whatever, when something ain't right. And I was demanding to go. I wanted to, hang out with my dad and them, whatever. And after that first, the one of the early signs, I was like, you know, he got the driver and him. I'm in the back, right? We go to the beach and make an exchange, and then we go to one of his little locations off St. Augustine Road, across the tracks, and wait for some Jamaicans. Now, I'm older now, okay? Remember back then, the drug dealers used to date, you know how they used to date the younger girls and shit like that, right? I mean, so they coming in my hood. I'm friends with the girl. So I got a good idea what the hell is going on, right? Oh shit. We out here on a goddamn purchase, honey. Going to jail. Going to juvenile. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I thought, and I was like, okay, and I understood her nervousness. But she was, I mean, baby, she ain't, she didn't want me to go. I don't know what the hell is going on, right? And I'm an only child, and you don't really want me fucking around with the girls in the hood and shit. And the white people, they're not, I'm not coming out there, hey, Miss Karen. And the white people, they're not, my white best friends, so they're not coming to pick me up every day. So, I mean, Jesus. So, I knew when I was real young, it was so funny. My friends were people's grandmothers. Why? Because, and I kind of, I'm kind of mixing the ass and the Jocelyn um, facts that maybe was kind of true in my life because of it's like mixing of two worlds. Like, so I would hang around the old people, hang around in our family, right? They didn't make us lead on when they was having an adult conversation, and there was no don't look and stop watching my mouth, stay out. Well, how you whatever that shit I've been hearing other parents be saying, they never tell us that. As a matter of fact, they was very inclusive of that and told us, I told you they did everything, but she had a classroom, a family goddamn training about it. Young folks, this don't do this. It was, and they never and we knew not to interrupt them, they had my conversation like, mm-mm. So they talk in front of us. So when I'm hanging with somebody's grandmother at 10 or 11, they like hanging with me. Okay? I really want to be fucked up with no more children. Why? Well, one reason is that little goddamn girl Michelle, she used to come from the goddamn projects and come play with me. Now, I told her before, but Yvette likes to take out the part where my mama say why she would pay kids to play with me, right? Yvette likes to say, yeah, because your ass was mean and a damn terror. I'm like, no. Okay, because I didn't start getting mean until like I was 12 and something like that. So, and even though she's older than I am, I was more wiser. Okay. I was more wise. So that's why I'm just tying that dynamic to the Azrael and Joyce's situation, right? So and understand. So and guess what? Pay attention. Who was the dominant one that drove that Gail King's interview? Azrael. Jocelyn is at that point is she Azrael drove that. That's what I'm saying. I believe she knew damn well that ain't nobody sold nobody. I believe that she did get a little you know she was okay at some point not talking to her parents, but I believe that if the part whatever he was telling them about the parents, I believe she brought into some of that, right? Maybe not all of it, but all she knows is she has some liberty. She thinks she's gonna drop albums and stuff like that. They're going different places and stuff, meeting probably different people if that's the situation, whatever, they're having a good time. Okay? But go back. That's what I'm saying. I don't believe Miss Clarice sold no child. And I definitely don't believe Mr. Tim sold. If you remember that goddamn interview, Jocelyn came in and yes, and the deals, yes, and whatever. So I mean, what is the what I mean, like how often does that happen? Black people selling children. That's all almost 18. For what? You almost get your ass, you want a parent be like, shit, you get your ass out by 18, right? Which I don't never like that, right? Oh, I ain't never like that. It don't mean just because they're 18 that they ready. But so, so I can that's crazy, right? And like I said, I can tell the parts where he told the truth, he exaggerated, he lied, and most of it was performative. That was out of desperation. Okay, that was out of desperation. So, let me tell about finish about the kids and shit. So, anyway, the little girl, hang on, I'm gonna give you a bit about a minute. The little girl comes to play all the time, right? And all the time she's doing what? Stealing my damn toys. Because I know that she's less fortunate, I'm not saying anything to her. But I told one of them cousin named Kenny, the one that I talk to most time, whatever you ever talking to, and then I told both of our god brothers, Hugh Brown, named Pookie, right? I told them. So lo and behold, the little girl coming to play and steal again. My cousin wanted me to beat the girl up. So he told me to pick up. So I picked the little girl up. We was in the same grade, but she was getting smaller. I picked her up. He said, I spin her around. I spin her around, whatever. He said, I throw her on the ground, drop her. And I was like, oh God. I was like, And I just placed her down, and the girl ran home. And she ain't gonna play with my ass no more. And I didn't have the heart to tell my mama that was happening because I'm like, she's going out of her way to make sure that I play with someone. That kid about like 7 or 8 years old with that kind of knowledge. Remember that same situation when I told you that I hate from a young child. I hate them damn orange slices with the sugar on them and them candy corn. But I like the maple nut goodies, right? Same scenario. I told y'all parking here, and this was pre the stadium. Parking, especially downtown, oh, you forget about it. So I know my mama had to take her break, her entire break, to go downstairs, pass her car, because if you move that car, somebody, when you come back, it's that space gone. So I know she had to come down, pass her car, walk to Sears and Roebuck, and get that candy, and come on back and whatever. So I was like, I ain't having a heart to tell. I hate these candy corn. I hate these goddamn orange slices of sugar. I hated them motherfuckers. I hate that. I hate it today. Goddamn, y'all know about candy corn. Whew, Jesus. So, um, so I had that. You know what I'm saying? I had that type of thinking and feeling and goodwill, whatever, at that age. I don't believe that. Um, I believe that Joycelyn probably had it, and she knew enough to not tell the story what was really going on to her dad at first, or whatever. I mean, they got it or whatever. Remember that reported thing? And I don't know if that was the last time they really seen her physically or whatever. I think so. When they was drilling her ass. But see, that's different from Mr. Declare to them or whatever. Different scenario. In my opinion. Okay. The family structure is a little different. They got some streetwise ass parents. There's a lot going on. And every time somebody mentioned Baltimore, I don't know what Baltimore had to be doing. But every time somebody say something about, yeah, they're from Baltimore. And it's never flattering. I tell you, go up to Virginia, you should never go, yeah, they're from Baltimore. I'm like, no, I ain't never heard nothing good about Baltimore and the people there. Nothing ever. That's crazy. That is crazy to me, right? But hey, shit, we got some examples out here. Oh, I got you. So, um, so you know, how did they get to from the parents to R. Kelly? The prosecutor was able to control again what is coming in and what is going out, right? Okay, because if I want to list a bunch of shit on an indictment and the facts of it and all this other shit, I mean, we ain't gonna talk about it in court. That's my upper hand. I got the upper hand on you, defense. Because, and this is the thing I have with defense attorneys. They, because, they private practice normally right off unless they doing what? Working for a company in which they have to defend everything. Thank the Lord, I was always like contracts and that paperwork and stuff like that. I didn't get into like they had the company was being taken to court and and shit like that, whatever. Sometimes I would help out on the class action lawsuits, but that other stuff, whatever, when they go into court, that's not me. I'm not gonna argue with nobody. Okay. But so and that's why it take a long time to gather stuff and whatever. What they gather and what comes out in court is like ridiculous, right? Because you best believe that prosecuting team, oh, they know, okay? But they can control what the charge. If they don't charge you with the shit, you can't talk about it. I also believe that they had some people, they was rough with some people. They was rough with some of the people that came to talk to the um the prosecution. But here's the thing, right? This is why I think I don't know if did I say it? Yeah, I said it when I thought I was talking to somebody. Now let me say it again. The most y'all kill my ass. The most important evidence now, in my opinion, that we have out of those damn text messages. If you're trying to figure out how she got from A to B. Now listen. You heard several accounts of what a person is trying, people are trying to tell you those text messages mean, right? And then you got to go back to what I was talking about, objectivity, subjectivity, right? From being open and not having a dog in the fight and whatever. I'm talking about this for some people. I'm a little different, but if I'm being open or whatever, not having a dog in the fight, I'm gonna be interested in the facts. Okay, I'm not participating in those smear campaign. I got nothing to do with that. And my feel this is me. My feeling about how you are as a parent, I got nothing to do with that either. I'm just trying to figure out how she got from your house to his house. Okay, that's all I want to know. Now, but most people, even and you have some people that is going to be objective, right? But they're going to have their objectivity skewed by what? Some subjectivity. Why? Because of maybe who it is and what the subject and what it's about. That's why you may see jurors that, yeah, I watched Surviving R. Kelly and no, I don't like um so-called children predators, but I can still be objective and they land on the jury. I think a lot of attorneys when they go to appeal based on like jury prejudice and stuff like that, I think a lot of the attorneys don't um the Supreme Court or whatever, whoever they appeal to, they don't win most of the times with that because I think they don't take it far enough. Okay. And that this now we're going to me. And remember, I don't cut y'all off for information. I'm not, no, I'm not helping out. Okay. Y'all some ungrateful motherfuckers. Y'all on my damn nerve. Figure it out. Okay. On my regular social media, baby. Listen. Everybody around me except my child, know how to get that goddamn truth. They take a longer time than I do, but they know how to get that truth out your goddamn ass. They're gonna figure it, they're gonna get it out. Right? You know why? Because I talk them. And they teach me about different things or whatever. We talk about all kinds of stuff. You're right, Miss Karen. You're right. That's my Miss Karen. Look at him. Clock it. I'm doing a little clock it behind the thing. Girl, see, you know I'm going. What people be? That's what I'm talking about. My goddamn 5 or 10, but they be on it. They be on it. Yes, that's what I'm going with it. Okay. So I don't have that type of investment. And I would never have no emotional investment to make nobody look nothing. Guess what? Because if a person is a fucked up person, whatever, I just gotta sit back and wait. I ain't got to be convincing and come out every day and bash. What for what? What does that do for me? And then you got a lot of speculation because you don't know you weren't there. And then lie, you got to lie on the people that we got none of that. You see, this is the thing, right? Oh, I'm gonna tell y'all this, but I'm open my mouth. This is the thing. Once you develop a space where people are more relaxed and they're generally their personality, their motives, I mean all kinds of stuff, it's gonna eventually come out. You might have to wait a minute, but it's gonna eventually come out. So and ain't too many people gonna cop to a lot of stuff if it ain't the truth, right? So you have to develop. It depends on who you interview, depending on the situation, the case, whatever. But you give a relaxed thing, it's gonna come out, and they're gonna tell you. And I remember my child, I told you I got her job at the feds right before she went to college. I try to, Lord, I tried to make her be a lawyer. She didn't do it. I said, what about? Okay, what about doctor? I told her I had got her hemmed up in some classes that she didn't give a damn about or whatever. It was too much. So I felt bad, and she used to just email me the assignment or whatever the assignment was. You know, I ain't need the book. I ain't need no book in law. I ain't need no book in psychology. You know, they ain't teaching them deep psychology in high school AP class. It's like, and it's like she got college credit for those AP class, but it wasn't like what you would do if you know your next, you know, like 102, 103, 104. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, based on whatever college you go to, right? So she didn't want me about none of that. And a couple times she had to it appeared that the father was trying to hit a big. Uh-huh. Yep. You're right. And she said she just not that excited when when I got the people because I get excited. Oh, I got you. Oh, motherfucker, I got you. Here's the problem with that with me, right? Okay, but that's why you got the people that's really, 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 they know how to do it. I could never play poker. Okay, shit, man, I be playing spades and I see how it's coming out. Ooh. I can my face don't goddamn, my face tell you, oh baby, it's gonna be on the clock. Okay. But My child said she just not that interested when she don't call somebody and telling a lie with her. She said she's just not that interested. Baby, I be back. I be doing a slide, baby, slide. And what happens, right? I done say, "Oh, I got your ass now." But guess what? So what did I just do? I done fucked up all of that relaxing space. I done gave that person, right? I done fucked that all up. Instead of killing one person, they probably killed 10. But since I done jumped up and skip, baby, give up, I done fucked up, right? I messed it up. So, okay. So, and that's why I never do high crime. Uh-uh. Um, so you can't, you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, and again, I don't think I'm dogging them, but I don't know nothing about it. Really don't care. So I'm not gonna invest not 1 minute in no smear campaign. Reason being, one, that's not how I am. I gravitate to being good rather than all this extra stuff. And two, it's big, highly speculative and all that type of stuff. I ain't got time for that. You got to lie and add stuff. Like people do out here, right? And it's so easy. I hear it's easy to um put a wrench in the smear campaign. Because here's the thing, right? And what happens is truth and evidence that puts a wrench in the smear campaign. Just so y'all know, okay? So I don't have to come and put stuff and all the stuff that's not there. Okay, it doesn't say that. Okay, and if I'm looking at it, so those text messages, right? Now, if I was if I wasn't me, I would start with what we really generally start with is a timeline. Okay, how you got from the parents, how you get to that man's house. I would start with a timeline. We would always say, work it what? Backwards and forwards. Me, because I just don't need all of that, and I pretty much got most of that. If I did it, I would start with the text messages. I don't forgot most of everything about the whole case, really. But really, those I would have to take 3 or 4 ibuprofen before I start reading them, and 3 or 4 afterwards, because all of that, little half little things, little 2 or 3 words and alphabets and all this and abbreviate. I got time for all that. I don't have time for all that. And here's another situation. I just hate it. Candace, but this is my opinion. When you look at those text messages, I've always said this, right? Kind of felt like they knew that she was having sex with her boyfriend or whatever. She's close to 18. I'm not advising her to have sex. I wouldn't care if she did, but she's almost 18. What's the difference between 17 and 18-year-old? Bet you if I started having sex at 15, well, they start rationalizing, and justifying it, right? So what I told you, when you start letting your subjectivity play a part in your objectivity, right? You come up with something I call bad facts, right? There's good facts, there's bad facts. Right, right, Karen. Yeah. There's good facts and there's bad facts. Okay? We might have the same fact, But the story I would tell and the story the prosecutor tell is going to be what? Different. What you do, you see that in what? The courtroom. The defense, in some cases, the defense you have to explain the evidence. They got a story about it, right? And then the prosecutor got a story about that same evidence. So that's them. Regular people, when our subjectivity come into it, that's come from the heart, whoever it is, whatever it is, whatever, it's going to affect it, right? It's a little different, right? And it's nobody's life on the line and all that. So, we don't feel how we want to feel. We got majority of what we need to know, and let's live another day. Okay. So that's what so that's deal with that. I'm gonna start, but I'm telling gosh. And here's the reason why they would be listen, what we really need, but you really can't foil that. We really need that 3500 material. Why? Because that contains what everybody put on the ground. Okay. And Discovery is predominantly made up of what? Brady, Giglio, and Jinx. What? Jinx 3500. So if we look at what was the parents' story, then we can develop a better picture of, now I don't know if they ever talked to the prosecutors or not. I don't know how they would not, but remember, she was in the case before she decided to what? Testify. And I don't know what turned her. I don't know what turned her, right? But that's when you see the maturity or the difference in her being younger than Jocelyn, but for some reason she more streetwise. She's more it has a lot of adult in her, and she knows how to get her way. And I believe that because her mama sat there and said that. So I believe she knew she wasn't sold and all of that, whatever. I don't know. Now those deals and stuff, the dildos and all that type of stuff. I don't know where that came from. Maybe I don't know who said it. I don't know where all that stuff come from. Okay, but 3500. You know that stuff was taken under oath and things of that nature. And think about this, right? The indictment went down the list of what's it, bus drivers, co-workers, that whole line, right? I don't think all those people testified. And here's another thing, right? If you don't play ball, and I believe this was true in this particular case, if you don't play ball and they know, they can lean on you. Now look here, if you don't tell us the truth, we're gonna put you in jail until you do. Okay, so I would rely heavily on what people initially said. Because why? Here's the thing, like just say the Mayweather twin, just say that apart. So apparently they went and talked to people. Now, guess what we have? We have text messages from the Mayweather people. So that's two forms of verification. We got what they told us before court. We have the text messages, and then the next time we got what? We got you under oath in the courtroom. If they testify, I don't know. But in the courtroom. So that's three pretty good verifiable sources. And again, I'm not saying that the courts, the prosecutors get it wrong, whatever. But this is what I know. The the difference, well, I'll tell you, this is what I know. I know that normally the prosecutor side of the story is more close to being accurate, and they probably got the right person. Okay. What sometimes happens is um, based on the jury, you know, when they said it was going to be objective, something happened. Maybe that old sleek defense happened that the defense could play to one of them. You know what I'm saying? Something could have happened in their life. They could have been, somebody could have been falsely accused of something, whatever. And the defense know how to work the room where they can get that juror, count on their side. So um and that's the danger of now, some of these jurors have to be unanimous, you know, because that happened in that Paul DeRosa cab driver killer that happened in Jacksonville, right? When he was found guilty and got the death penalty, that was 10-2. Well, later on, Florida changed those guidelines and said it has to be unanimous. So a lot of people had their sentence communicated because one, just like the sex thing that R. Kelly got, the sex act that R. Kelly got they used against him and did and all that those people, whatever. The law was already on the record. So when they went in and changed it, they got to be unanimous. That allowed people who had already been sentenced to death and whatever to get their sentence communicated to life without the possibility of parole or whatever. Okay. But so so to show you right there, all 12 jurors heard the same story. Two of them decided that part cab driver was innocent. I don't know how they came up with that, but they decided that cab driver was innocent. So he benefited from what? A change in the law. Okay? Now remember, it's not introducing a new law. If they was introducing a new law, then they wouldn't be eligible to get their sentence communicated, right? But because the law was still on the record, they were able to get, and if anybody needs the death penalty, he did, because I think they only charged him with one murder or two or whatever, and he really killed like 7, 8 people. And you heard friend Tim. So then he killed the girl we had. I said, yeah. They said she got killed by the Tika got killed by the cab driver, man. I'm like, oh Lord. So, but unfortunately, those files and those what we really need is that third violent material. We ain't gonna get it. We can't get it really. But so and also the while I say the prosecutor has a lot of control of what comes in, what comes out, whatever, the defense has control too, but not as much as the prosecutor. Because if the defense don't want it to make like it's a bunch of children in the case or whatever, and the prosecutor then bring it up really like that, they introduce it like that, they introduce some of like the man act and stuff like that, what they can get with the herpes and all of that. But they kept out like pretty much how she went from the parents to the thing. They kept kind of most of that, some of that out at trial, right? The defense in there when they present their case in chief, what they don't have to go down, submit evidence that says, hey, he's surrounded himself with a bunch of children, all the time, 30 years. No, they don't put that out. So, but the prosecutor really drives the case, right? But anyway, so that's what I was saying. I mean, I can't remember the key points, key areas in those text messages. I just know that those text messages is probably the most reliable evidence we have. Okay. For a bunch of different reasons. So that's what, if I get a chance, that's what I'm going to start. Because I know I'm going to look at it different. I agree with people when they said they did some questionable stuff. And I think they know they did some questionable stuff. But that's enough for me. I don't have, a dog in I don't care very too much, and I'm not going to make it my life mission to do nothing to keep them in there or get them out, So I ain't got nothing to do with me. But yeah, it's a lot of uh, a lot of questions, right? But when when that man came out of them tears and so whoever was, I mean, what was the the crisis man, that's when I think he had his hands on R. Kelly's shoulder, and R. Kelly came out of his truth feeling with them tears and shit about them goddamn 30 years. And then he went to a performance, looked at that camera, the parents said they were going to do this, that, and that. So, oh, he's going here we go. Performance. Is this camera on? Is this camera all that right there? Performance. And defense attorneys or whatever, I don't know if I'm not mistaken. Didn't I hear something about like the defense attorneys had the records of the stories these girls were writing that they were allegedly told to write or whatever, and whatever agreements and something like that, and they knew that they were underage, not one or two things. However, they didn't believe that they were girlfriends of his or whatever. He was just keeping records for some, for some odd reason. I don't know what reason he would need to have a bunch of letters talking about they admitting to stealing and all this type of stuff. And if I'm a defense attorney, okay, one letter, I got my suspicion of. Two, I'm always suspicious. So a lot of times those defense attorneys really don't like them because they just, lack morals sometimes and integrity and just goodwill because of what? They got to be what? They got to, some of them go to school, and if they had a suspicion about the operation of the law in America, when they go to school and they finish, they really got a suspicion about it, right? So a lot of times they gravitate to the defense side and they do some things that, or they'll, ignore or whatever, some things that you be like, I mean, what the hell? And they doing it because of what? They need reputation because they getting those good cases by word of mouth, and they got to put the food on the table and play everybody. That worked for them, right? So they have a level of desperation too. But the thing that I wanted to say about objectivity and subjectivity is this, right? Again, now when you look at the state's level of conviction compared to the Fed level of conviction, it is almost night and day. Why is that? Well, at the federal level, they have a lot of areas where they not only deal with prosecuting people for the crime, but they get heavily into why it happened, how it happened, profiling, this and that, and this and that, and third, and whatever. And they, and they be putting it together. So they benefit from having departments that lean heavily into psychology, right? And have those people come and get a job there and whatever. They got a whole outfit, right? Well, the state isn't like that. And a lot of times, the city and state aren't like that. And a lot of times, the city and state will call for not the feds to take over the case, but call for one of the federal profilers and come on in this interview and then give us what you think. And even they get it wrong, right? But I know those people that really is concentrated, like have that concentration in that area of psychology when it comes to crime. So they be looking at the people's brain and all that kind of stuff. Whatever, so they get develop different pictures and stuff like that. So that's why, and with the at the state level, local and state level, while they have people in there with that type of experience or whatever, it's just not as it's broad and is structured as what they have at the Fed. You know, I mean, and usually they don't get it wrong. I think everybody got it wrong when them two Negroes were shooting out the back of a box Chevy, shooting people all up in the DMV. Everybody got that wrong. But and you can kind of say that's when the face of some of these unsolved mysteries starts to change, because you know there is a cop in profiling that acts, says, well, it's most like a white person, it's most like a black person. Okay, that kind of that changed a little bit, not a little bit, it changed a lot. Why that's not one of the major. It is major, but it's not like they're not ruling out no other race. You know what I'm saying? But so they try to use other identifiers to make sure that if they say, well, we believe in a white person based on this, and this, these different characteristics that is the variables and all that type of stuff, right? But mm, listen, I ain't. Yes, I know I got them text messages about 20 times somewhere. Well, oh my gosh, all of that cold talking and all, you know what I'm saying? And then you got to change when they change and all of that and whatever. That's a lot. That's why I'm gonna start there. If I get to it, I'm gonna start there. Everybody, other people they can start from how she got there, whatever. But and check this out. And I really want to know, and I don't know, but how did that girl, that black girl in that cage, what that girl name is that was at the press conference, how did she click up with Mr. Tim? Because I know, although I don't know how they doing this, although for some reason they trying to say that I may be wrong, but Mr. Clary is the one that caused R. Kelly to be put in jail. Uh, no, he's not the one that started it. It was Tim and them, because Mr. Tim, he had a bat in front of the Mercedes looking for R. Kelly. That was like nobody done sold no kid. He he got the bat. And then when you and when you listen to them earlier or whatever, you heard all the desperation they kept doing, kept going to the people, going to the people, because Johnson was over age. Wasn't much they can do but what? Wellness checks. Well, what kind of wellness? You got to keep wellness checks for somebody you don't sold. Because, I mean, you don't give a damn about them anyway if you don't sold them. So, um, but yes, I don't know how that's right. I mean, this is when the stuff get murky. Now you gonna blame that on the Clarence too? Come on now. We seen what went down. That man had a whole conference. I ain't know nothing about them Clarence then. I don't think I knew anything about them Clarence until um okay, when they was in Surviving R. Kelly, but at that time, that was the only picture that we had of what was going on. The extra details or whatever, who started, who did this, who did that, whatever, that thing is mostly driven by who? Themselves. And rightfully so. And that's the tragedy in this whole situation. I think they're the only ones that don't have contact with their child. Give a damn if the child's 75 and I'm still him. I want to talk to my child. I want to know, if she's okay. Um, so that is Boy, I wish we could get a hold of that darn 3500 material. I'm telling you, because you best believe what's in those transcripts and all the stories and stuff they had to compile. I guarantee you, when you see what was left out, you'll be like, huh? I mean, like all this stuff, because they just really couldn't do it, right? Because they know what would happen, right? If you try to um do too much, right? And just as with 404 evidence, right? Defense attorneys attack that was bad acts evidence. The defense attorneys attack that, but I don't think they. Again, I don't think they usually win when trying to fight to keep that out of court because I don't think they really lean into how a juror can be say he is objective when he's getting um asked the questions, right? But then it's gonna be something. It could be something that is said down the line or whatever that makes them like, that may link up, with their belief systems, their personal feelings, or what have you, right? I mean, I can make an example of, let's see, just say, with ever Taliban people or whatever over there that what is it? What across Guantanamo Bay? Listen, so just say they go to court one day, and you have those what do people saying? Allah Akbar, whatever, before they kill up and blow everybody up and stuff like that. If you have some of them type of um uh jurors on the stand or whatever, you say some of them, because you have one, two of them, maybe Muslim and stuff like that, they may be sympathetic to the person on that's on trial because they understand their belief system and stuff like that, right? So yeah, they might get found innocent or whatever. So it's a slippery slope, but I think the text messages would really, well, it's gonna give me what I need to get closer to the picture because I think I pretty much got closer to the picture of what actually happened. It ain't spectacular, but it is what it is, right? But and I don't know, but I'm take it no kind of way. Even though I believe that both the Claries and the Savages have a little hustle in them, the hustle may be a little different. I know the hustle is different. Then I hear like they say Alice did prison time. I think she said that, and she would look like she was riding with it. And to be honest, the only question I want to know really is who has the herpes. That's all I want to know. I don't know a lot about you know, medicine and stuff like that, right? That's not, I listen, I can play a good fake lawyer, but I can't play no fake doctor. I play a good fake teacher, good fake product pusher. But I just sit in the house all day, my whole entire life, and start YouTube in 2021. So I don't know what I was doing prior to. um. So that is what it is. Um, the average person wants a relationship with their children, regardless of their age. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I do. I do. I be like, Lord have mercy. Something got to break through. I do that. And then when I heard Thomas Tim on that after that struggle, I said, oh, I can't do this. It just tears at my. I could never be a defense attorney like and I take high crimes and cases like no child because I'm not it's almost equivalent to lying about the evidence. Now you got to come up there and lie to the people as your defense. I can't do that. I can't do that. You got to sit up there. I've never had to sit up there and come up with a real convincing lie. Like no, they get paid for it's just all around the whole thing. It seems like you were doing a disservice and you're being very very you gonna mess something because somebody else. If this was about murder and you do all of that, they can be put out on the street. They gonna murder somebody else. You know that we've seen that happen. So you done got your money thirsty, hungry, ate more behind up there, and done told a lie. And then the person get found not guilty, which hey, and that's another thing. The defense attorneys put a lot of money on how the law is written and what is left out the law. So they can use that to their advantage. While you sitting there with your mouth open, right? Right? So, and I noticed that, and I can understand, but I noticed that in J. Bo uh, work with her cases, she has objected to a lot of bad acts for right evidence, right? And we saw the memorandum that had from the prosecutors that had all those people, all that bad acts evidence. So I think it's fair game at that respect to say, wait a minute, this will can prejudice a juror. So I don't really hold that against them right when they be fighting that. But baby, when some of them, I ain't saying she has. But to me, at this moment, I don't think she really had to, get down and dirty like that. However, both be getting down and dirty. But I don't think Jay will be getting down and dirty like that. You know what I'm saying? I think she tries to rely heavily on working the law and maybe taking some part of evidence that may be ambiguous and use that and say, yeah, it meant, try to sell that it meant whatever, right? And they can be um totally convinced by that, right? Because there's nothing else out there that to contradict that. So they can say, this is what they believe, happened, whatever. But in this R. Kelly case, that evidence, it was evidence, supporting evidence, right? Inexplicably what? Combined or connected to something else. And then you got that pattern, that history, and all of that. I mean, like, you can pretty much do a timeline in 2 days. I'm just being funny, but it was a lot. And I guarantee you, what they don't have. Then they said, wait a minute, they did say they had a bunch of boxes and stuff like that going to the things. I bet most of the people that kills touch on the regular has the bumps. Yeah. That's all I don't know why I'm so goddamn hooked up on that. Because you know what? It's just so much controversy behind it. We was told that everybody got it. So I looked at every time somebody took a stand, I'm like, oh, they got it. They got it. Everybody got it. And then I started wondering, wait a minute. Now, you got people getting pregnant and all this stuff, whatever. I'm like, what about the partners of these people? Then that's when I went to go looking, but I went to go look about them herpes. And then I think they can take medicine to keep the partner from being infected or something. I don't know. That's what I don't know. Who got? Because that is going to alter the course of those people's lives. In the romance department, in my opinion. Because now this is just me. I don't care what you taking. Valtrex, what, 100,000 milligrams every 6 hours. I don't care about none of that. The minute you tell me about some, STD that ain't going nowhere, I'm gonna have to go somewhere. I ain't even, and listen, I love me some basketball. I used to love me some Magic Johnson. I still like Magic Johnson, but when that stuff came out, I was like, Cookie. Oh, Cookie. So I didn't know that the daughter they had was adopted or whatever until I saw the reality show. But I don't give a damn with Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. I don't care who it was. Angie gotta go. Okay, listen, you come tell me that night, by the morning I'm gone and I'm at somebody's facility. I done pushed and shoved away on in somebody's doctor's office, hospital, something. Lord have mercy, I'm a hypochondriac. Lord have mercy. Please, please run my blood, oh Lord have mercy. I know that happen matter, but that's me. Time you I'm gone. Right? That's sure. Told you, like, when I was younger, my I was, I would say I was selfish. I definitely wasn't that selfless, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't. Okay. But, like, start volunteering more and dealing with charities and eventually starting one. I was like, oh Lord, I had to change the way I was, baby. I'd be gone. And anything show up. And again, that's why I've had a lot of boyfriends, whatever. Because baby, I'm not listen. I'm not Tammy Wynette. Stand by my side. No, 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 no. Depending on what it is, but it's some foolishness. You better call Tammy because Angie is gone. Okay, bye. You ain't gonna interrupt my calm and peaceful existence on this earth. I already have uh too many scenarios that can happen. Just deal on my activity. And then you gonna introduce some foolishness into my life. I think not. Bye. And that's why I said, honey, the Lord gave you assigned the perfect child for me and some perfect situation because baby, he knew I am not on that foolishness. I told you that boy said, "Oh, you gotta help out stand up." I never forget. I came to think he looking all distraught. I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" He said, "I need your help." What? I'm ready to help. I'm like, "What?" He told me, "Well, that was my daughter's mother that died at the hospital, University Hospital, when they left the afterbirth in her after she had this other child." I was like, "I'm gonna need you to help me raise my child." I'm like, "Huh?" Now at that time I had zero children. So if we gonna date, you gotta have zero children. Okay? I ain't nothing about no kids. I said, huh? I said, baby, Brian. Yeah, look it up. Brian. Brian came back the next day to knock on that door. I looked at that peephole. Brian came, they were on the phone, came back there after that. I looked at the peephole. And it was so funny. Yvette said she was on the driving one day and said somebody was honking up, blowing her down. She said, "Oh, I thought I done got me one. They don't put me onto my head. Where is he at?" She said, "Oh, damn." And it was him. I said, "Child, mm-mm. Listen, I'm in Desert Storm fighting. Damn, you finna, yeah, so thank the Lord, I ain't had nothing back. It's that school, back this, back that, and all that kind of stuff. That's gonna be a problem. I already got too much going on. Here go, I gotta come to the school. And I'm very, they talk. Whatever. I don't like my, situations to be start tripping like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like, and I'm deal with extra situations because it might throw. Uh, can't do it. No, I mean, I need help. I had one baby this boy was talking about he trying to get his kids. He's doing what kids with ass? Okay. Stop talking to him. And I ran into him. Every time I run into him, he said, "Hey, Miss Ignorant. Hey, Miss Ignorant." I keep on walking. Yep. Yep. You named me correctly. Yep. And I don't have time to be fighting with no baby mamas and all this extra stuff. Because I don't know how you what your a good picture of what your dating history was. I mean, young when I was younger, I asked some questions. I ain't asked the questions I ask now. Like, what? Oh no. And you start thinking, why you got to take the kids from the mom? Like, what kind of women you impregnating? Oh no. I said, okay. Oh, okay. That's funny. I know it's terrible, Well, it is what it is. Yeah. If you there's somebody for you, it just won't be me. We cool though. I don't like all that going on in my life, all that activity. And they know it too. But yeah, so those text messages, child, it is gonna reveal a lot of stuff for me. Ugh, that's crazy though. That's crazy. You see, I'm not gonna read nothing. I'm not gonna read nothing into it, but because you pretty much in some parts you pretty much have to. But I know how to develop, a couple different pictures and something where there's a gap and not just have an innocent spin on it or a guilty spin on it, right? I just know I'm not going to do that. But it's going to tell me what I think I already know, but it's going to confirm it, I believe. Ooh, and that's something, child. I only oh, oh, uh, yeah. I mean, that's rough. I just wish one day. I don't know, but like I said, Azrael, she played a good role, and I do believe she believed some of what um she was being told by Art Hill, whatever. But if you go back and look at that interview, who drove that interview? Who the youngest one in the room, and Joyce provided pats on the back and head nod and a couple of words. You know, and I don't know if she wasn't or whatever on some kind of drugs or something, or like what would aid in her believing that her family, she should be estranged from her family. Like now, listen though, right? And we do know that brainwashing and all that stuff, whatever, even older people and all this stuff, that's how they get what? Codes. All the people at Jonestown, all that type of stuff, all the black people, whatever. And that's you would think that situation was pretty much would have been a white operation, baby. The first time I saw all them bodies, and the numbers, I was like, like the little stories and stuff. I'm like, where's all the white people? All them black people they got. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Well, here's the thing, right? Black people love who? God and Jesus. Yes, sir. So I can understand what kind of made them more comfortable. But there's a lot of people, and these are not the people that most people that went with him. They were just people, on drugs without a job and all that type of stuff. No, I think if I'm not mistaken, I mean, someone brought income to the situation and stuff like that. Like what are you on? What black person? What you got to tell a black person that you got to move, come on to Jonestown, whatever, and you might have been, just say you was working in a store or maybe working in an office, and then you got to go and pull corn and rice and shit out the ground and shit in the sun, huh? I'm already disinterested in that. It's too hot out there. I don't seem like something ain't right there. You know what I'm saying? So like what? Like so, and especially in her situation. I mean, I'm not saying that she takes drugs or mental medication. Well, I don't know, but I can tell you just looked at them eyes. Eyes gonna be right, and your eyes tell people a lot of stuff, right? And somebody come up, you could just been finished crying or cried that day, and people like, well, what you was crying for? You been crying? What's what you doing? What looking at their eyes? You sick? You looking at their eyes? You know what I'm saying? So that is the top of the game right now. Boy, we get them that darn 3500, baby. We'll be cooking with gasoline, but can't do that. And but yeah, so and in the American justice system, defense attorneys and how they already small a good bit of them already have a distrust of government and which is laws and all of that. And to make that suspicion have a home, you can just look at all the declassification and classification of all these situations that went on, right? But they tell us that we the public should be privy to everything, but you got stuff marked as classified, and you got to go to court to get it declassified. You got a lot. And I'm like, okay, I get it, but I'm not really interested. If some UFOs was here, I'm not really interested in that because I see something funny, and I'm gonna have my thing on. I'm gonna try to shoot at it, and if it don't move, I'm hitting the gas. uh So I'm not real interested in all of that, right? You know, um, just about where everybody got assassinated, of course, in political uh, field, right? Which to me also encompasses like the activist stuff like that. It's always 25 conspiracy theories or more, right? I'm just not going to burn my brain out on that. I need, more storage on that. But yeah, the defense attorney, they can always play behind the law not being sometimes constitutional, right? They can always point it. It was in the law that people could have slaves. That right? Oh, so mhm. I don't know that. I don't know, but also when the girls Well, around him. Remember? He was in jail, whatever. And then we started getting little clips of them going live and all this type of stuff right here. Now, I started thinking already that this is what most people, I'm going to tell y'all that now. But I started thinking, uh-oh, he must be going to be in trouble. Because when, we started looking at the discovery and all that type of stuff, and you go to looking at it and you know what you know, what you know. But before we got that, remember they stopped popping up, right? Now, me, I was like, uh-oh. I started registering that, right? I was like, oh boy, he must be done something wrong. Because one of the claims is that they don't see their children and they haven't heard from them or none of that, right? They had no online activity. They didn't, they don't, just is they just gonna mute, right? And then after that claim is made, and this is how a lot of, oh Lord help me, I don't commit crimes, but this is how a lot of people get caught. Because this is desperation, and you trying to, you part of desperation, you are gonna cover your ass. And this is how you get messed up. They said they ain't seen the kid, and the next thing they are coming on here saying, I'm alive and well, or whatever they're saying, whatever, right? That's my boo. I can't wait till you get all of that, right? And it's like, And I'm like, oh, you playing that game with the wrong people. You got a federal case, sir. You playing that with the wrong people. And you hear some lawyers, most lawyers say, I want to let him do that interview. And I'm pretty sure his team of lawyers, if some agreed, I guarantee you some disagreed. But R. Kelly was urgent. He was desperate. I mean, he drove that because you know what I'm saying. I mean, that's one. That's when you get in you know when they looking for something, they watching or whatever. You know what I'm saying. That's one of the alarms, the signals that we probably got them. Yeah, that's it's one of the and it's a lot of things where it's a lot of things that happen where he probably thought that okay, this response would be right, he can get out of it, whatever, or at least influence the jury, whatever. But what he didn't know is that when it came to his prosecution, that was helping them, sure up their case. Because where, it could have been like they could have been like at 70% with it. And all those little actions and stuff, it's gonna make it seem as if you actually putting your case and everything under stricter scrutiny and you don't do that. I mean, I'm not giving out no advice on that. I mean, when I see you don't want to do that, you want to put your case in under stricter scrutiny, right? Because oh my gosh, you got the wrong people on your tail when you doing that. You say anything, listen, they ear be going. Look how they ear be going side to side, baby. It's like your actions and stuff like that. Yeah, there ain't no way in the hell I would have had him do that interview and do all that. Wow, I don't know, Mr. What that man name, Mr. Johnson or whatever, the crisis counselor. Maybe he's signal to our Kelly. Maybe he knew more than because I think what the dude name is Greenberg poked his head around the corner to see what the commotion was, and then you seen Mr. Johnson. I don't know if Greenberg told Mr. Johnson go out there and calm him down, whatever, because he can't do it because that's everything. Everybody gonna start looking what and start looking crazy. Wait a minute, you know the people who know what's supposed to be happening um in the court of law. You know what I'm saying? So all of that, this camera's up working. How did not do? I'm like, oh God. Well, I believe he told the truth about something. I was obviously he didn't tell the truth about other things, right? And uh, but it was definitely some missteps. But it's telling how wise, much wiser that as was of somebody who was like 1, 2 years older and who's been in that situation before she got there. And how that girl and you know what else was telling? That whole scene at that apartment. Yeah. I was like, oh boy, she gonna get him. As real, she gonna get his ass. And Jocelyn with the glass over eyes. Now, I don't know. I got to go back and see. I don't know if anybody. I got to see some earlier when she was singing the mimosa song or whatever. Maybe I can look in her eyes, and it was just something bad. And then the rage she had toward as, and then y'all don't remember. I don't know if this stuff. I ain't shutting on this nobody, but this was just you know me because I'm really. I mean, it was what it is. But and when that girl was in that door, Dawson was in that door, and when she yelled at ass, did you see her eyes like pounced and I said, "Oh Lord!" And she was like glazed over. You understand? So I don't know if that's just her body's natural reaction to submissiveness, or is some cop circle something. But how I mean her eye, I mean connected with that rage and it's like pouncing. And I thought, oh shit, this gonna go all bad. While as real emotions are going different places, and I believe that when Ezra was crying after the fight, well, I don't think it was so much of the fight. I think it was pretty kind of like, because I believe she enjoyed being there for the most part. But I believe as a person, a young person, whatever, that was a lot for her to handle. And her tears was genuine because she probably really didn't want to do them like this, to be honest. Well, I'm about to cry. The fuck? Ain't nobody got me in the damn captivity. What the hell I'm about to cry for? But yeah, I really about to, I was got kind of sensitive about that girl eyes. Look at that thing. And I'll never forget that. I can tell you a word of text message, but I would never forget the things that I know registers. Okay, we gotta watch. We gotta pay attention. Okay. And that dude Ronnie Bo, when he said them people got them psychology type people, all them type people, he said they got them everywhere, all up uh in the federal system. And I was like, baby, you ain't said nothing else. You said that's the truth, baby. That is the truth. What? And also in the area of where I used to be, like cybersecurity and internet crimes and all of that, developing patterns and all of that, that is also important to those people over there. Because remember, you are sitting up here with somebody or some kind of operation with people. You don't know who it is. You don't know where they're from. You don't know what the situation and circumstance. All you know that some kind of way these random numbers that identifies a computer or whatever, or a bank account or whatever, says that some activity occurred that's most likely fraudulent. You don't have it. So now you got to do a whole bunch of stuff, right? That's a little thing. That's the only drawback when it comes to those, And and that's where a lot of the undercover work goes on, right? Because if it's sex crimes and under kids and stuff like that, and the predators getting them off the internet, you got grown adults over there playing as children. And I probably shouldn't tell y'all this. I'm gonna tell you because it don't matter. And a lot of times, where they know where the predator strongholds are, where they be getting these kids from and stuff like that, they would drop down and play as a child, whatever, to see if they can get somebody to bite. Now, it's legal to do that, and if and here's the thing: the argument: if kids aren't your type, then hey, don't harm no foul. But you could call it entrapment all you want to, but other than that, you can make that argument, but hell, we got 99 other questions there. So I know a lot of this. I mean, when people plan like what to get the fentanyl over the internet and stuff like that. And people they playing dealers, buyers, all kinds of damn people, the connect. Oh, there's a lot of people playing a bunch of games legally on the damn internet, right? And you fuck around and you had that damn man in your front room. When you walk in, the cameras on your ass. What that man name was? Crime, whatever man name. You turn around, he in your front room because you have you have people, regular ordinary people that want to stop that type of criminality, right? You have regular everyday people playing those roles, right? And somebody had to tell them how the people, the popo catch their ass. We go out there and play like, we a child or a child predator. All kind of shit that they have to play. But something else to tell you about that. Um, God, I want to tell you about that. Anyway, it comes to me. But yeah, that's just the nature of the business. Like it is crazy, right? It's crazy work. But if you sit up there and you blow that you register any suspicion that they're gonna goddamn go and you just gonna be like, oh man. And then sometimes you've been on lost like 2 or 3, 4 years of work because you spooked him, and then you done messed up the 9 people that I probably shouldn't tell you this, but the people that done made your profile out here in the net, now they got to make another no, because you done messed up. You don't spook the people. And what they gonna do? They gonna tell their other crime breaking friends on the internet, hey, don't listen, that's a trap. That's the people, that's the popo. Don't go there. Don't do that. Don't speak to this person. And if they start asking you these questions or whatever, the same questions I was asked, that's the popo. So yeah, it's crazy, right? So you have to be really careful. And one thing about it, when you tell them people that yeah, I blew my cover, and you need another one, people roll their eyes at your ass. Now they got to put all this shit out here on the internet about your ass. Um, so would you could look like a person that would be down with, criminality and shit like that. Yeah, it's crazy. Rolling their eyes. I just, yeah, that's crazy. But you can mess up several years of work if you don't have your act down. And that's why they like to keep it close to your real life so you don't mess up. Oh, I know what I'm gonna tell you. And with that cyber, when it comes to cyber crime and things of that nature, the government used to hire, not used to hire it, but the government hires uh, criminals or sometimes contract them in that area. Ones that they done caught or whatever, And the reason being why? Because they know how the whole situation, the hacking and all that, they know how it's done. Call them white hats. That's what the government's calling white hats. They know all of how to get down. So, okay, that you look over time, right? You see where people like Ted Bundy and all these other people that they've been in jail and whatever, then you got somebody after them being sent to prison or death row or whatever. You got people from the federal bureau now coming to do what? Talk to the people. Why? Because we need to know how you think, how you did this, whatever. Because guess what? That's gonna play in us catching this other food we got our eyes on. Or if something else come up. Now they have all those, they have all those studies and stuff like that. You know? So and with some of those high crime people, those serial killers and all type of stuff, based on how they moved or whatever, if that was a highly intelligent, ego driven person, right? Like the Ted Bundys and people like that, they are anxious to tell you how they got away with it. Oh, huh? Really? Mm-hmm. That's crazy, but that is, oh, I wish that girl could call people. Oh, I don't think about it no more. Oh, that man had that. Oh, mm-hmm. And that's why I said, I mean, we risk it all. We don't care. I would have snatched her ass. We would have been somewhere in the van, and I'd be like, you can go hollering and kicking all the way to wherever. You'll understand one day. I mean, I don't know right now. She can, I mean, I'll tell you, but not right now. But like earlier on, I don't know if she understood what reality that she was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if she understood that. Her eyes, her eyes. Oh, look on that interview, and you look. Her eyes did look different in those pictures. Like the pictures that we saw of their family and stuff like that. Oh, sure did. I don't know what that can be. Y'all go back and look at that fight. Let me see if I can get it. Look at her eyes. Let me see if I can get that fight. And I hope I don't get a strike for playing somebody's content because I don't have that type of stuff. Ooh, let me weigh it in. Lemon pepper. Okay. And where's that dude? Um, what's his name? As is the as is dude. Used to trip me out. He said, "Don't you change." Yes, sir. Let me see if I got it. Okay, I think, yeah, let me play it. Hold on. I hope it ain't shortened for what I need. Let's see this.
You disrespectful. You're so evil. I'm not evil, baby. I need to see that shit. Joy, you were sleeping on me. It's the fire.
All wrong thing. Let's see this here. I got what I needed, sure. What I needed. I understand. So this is what I think. My opinion. So did y'all pay attention to how much um that girl knew? You know what I'm saying? As you understand that for her to disclose, you're going to jail, you were a minor, you you know all the stuff that she was saying and stuff, right? And I do believe that she ultimately turned because of something she found out. And not necessarily. So it could be, you know, I think it's more of a situation um, with his love life. Maybe George can be some other people. I don't know, but I can tell that it is over his relationship with somebody in that kind of capacity, right? And most likely it appears to be Joyce. Now, what turned out, I don't know if it was and then she talked to him one day and she found out all this stuff and all this him, and then also when he was him and Han about the visitation and all of that came together in that girl's head. But while she thought she was number one, she was a number one on conditional terms. You know what I'm saying? Oh, also, did y'all hear what Ash said? She said, "I don't know what she's on, but I don't know if she have a weapon or what." Oh, so that kind of answered my question. Could answer my question about drugs, unless she said, "I don't know what, like maybe what time she was on to come up here, or is she gonna come up here to try to fight me or whatever." That's the only other logical, which would fill in the blanks or whatever. But or she said, I don't know what she's on, or she got a gun or what, whatever she said after that. Okay, listen, that is crazy, and it's so crazy to how you have to go back and revisit these things or whatever as things develop, right? Or have how it played out. Because when I looked at this, and again, I didn't, like absorb it or whatever. Like when I looked at this, a few things that stood out. Like her eyes, how I don't think it started from. I know of this video. I was trying to find the one that started from the beginning. Um, if I recall, while I think Justin was in between the door and the wall, her eyes, like, that was that, or it could have been that, but I remember her eyes, like, constantly, and it came back. I'm like, oh, Lord. And I wasn't thinking about any of the questions that I have now, right? Because it was just so much rigmarole going on, whether Angela was there or he wasn't, whether she was in there stealing or she wasn't. Well, I don't know. Well, so we had so many distractions, like, it taking us away from, taking me away from what I actually should have been paying attention to if it was So I was trying to piece this together, which I wasn't. So I remember certain things. That's just from training. But and now you go back and listen. They pretty much answered the question I had about this situation. What happened to it? I don't know, money in there, whatever. I don't know nothing about all that. But we don't have no reliable sources when it comes to that. But I can't imagine somebody's going to say, "Yeah, I was stealing $10,000 out of him." Now, I don't know, but she was well aware, and Joycelyn is. You can see she is just deep down in submission. I mean, she is. She is like. She is referencing him, child. You understand? She's referencing, what R. Kelly like and don't like. I ain't never done that. Let me see. Such don't like. Hmm. Well, I refer or defer, whatever you want to defer or refer to my significant others as like somebody doing something. Say something like that. I ain't never said shit like that. And guess what? I can make decisions. So I ain't got to refer what he like, and it's if I like something, as long as it's not harmful to him or whatever, anybody like, but you gonna stop me or whatever. Even if it's harmful to me, unless you really get down and deal with me and say, hey, stop. Okay. But she was under, ooh, well, I don't know how that's going to turn out. I tell you what, I don't think that, well, she's been in there for a while now. I don't think she's going to be broken. I don't think she's going to be broken. It will have to be a situation that changes this circumstance. Like, or she comes to terms with what type of reality she's living, and she, tells herself, you know, you know what I'm saying? That or some kind of circumstances, right? Like, if I didn't, pay, I can't feed two, I can just feed one, or whatever. I can't, you're gonna have to, find some, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if she works in the well or whatever. I heard one time she was working somewhere or what have you, but and it could be the truth, right? Because she knows what she's supposed to say and not say, what she's supposed to do and not do, right? She got those instructions down pat. That is real, honey. She is a little bit wiser, well, a lot wiser. She done come up out of it, but regardless, they're all, you know, human, that side came out of her. Oh shit, y'all back and run. Well, both of them, because I think, oh my gosh. Oh, that's crazy. It's crazy. This white shit. We don't do all this now. We don't do this now. We white shit. Mm-mm. Child, y'all need to listen. I don't care what type of situation, what kind of outfit you work in, or whatever. In my opinion, you should always keep a good, healthy balance around you. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's what I'm saying. I can either show up with the people with the badges like the people with the bats. What we doing? We get to that part. I said a long time ago, there's no way in this world or another I'll ever the part where my street friends and the people from the neighborhood, the people I met along the way and whatever. Now, never, that's crazy. I don't care what it is. I'm in this, and I was president, I probably like Trump. I have all of them, all in my cabinet. Everybody in the cabinet. Yeah. Well, Hardy, everybody in the cabinet. Everybody, all in the, all jobs taken back with all my goddamn friends and family. Yes. Mm-mm. Today, I know they ain't gonna let nobody get me. Jesus Christ, I don't she broke me. That's beyond my pay grade. She have to refer her on to the people, or some of the people that do this full time for real, baby. All I know do break up. She's like that's some scary shit there. I don't feel as it as she goes, it's not gonna get better. It's like I don't know what she does for fun or whatever, but I'm pretty sure that whoever she's she's with or whatever the situation is, that they have sense enough to you know introduce her to some of the outside living. You know what I'm saying? Like bowling, skating, things of that nature, right? Yeah, but and see, and I don't know if they're on high alert with that because remember the Savages was, you know, catching up with her and stuff like that. That could cause, that could make the camp, put on put that can cause the camp to put a tight ring on, you know, well how her exposure, her limit to her exposure, right? I think maybe if Az wouldn't drop those charges, that would be the probably the closest time that they could have maybe broken her, right? That they could have broken her. have been the closest, but yeah, I mean, but she dropped the charges. I don't give a fuck now. Listen here. My cousin, my child, listen here. We grabbing you. Fuck all of that. I don't give a fuck about going to jail. None of that shit. Whatever. We grabbing you. And make no motherfucking mistake. I guarantee you, it's gonna be some people. They ain't gonna have their badges on that day. But they're gonna be in the. They're gonna be in all. They're gonna be in the loop. That's crazy. I can't take that. I've been had a heart attack or a stroke, which God dang. Mm-mm. I remember something happened. I don't go too too far in it, but I got just a few examples of stuff like that when you think that you trying to help somebody whatever, and it's just not working and shit like that. And then you start thinking about some of the techniques and shit like that and see who it is depending on what technique, the mechanism you use and shit like that, right? And you just say, oh shit, you know, he'll he'll wake up. He'll wake up and you just hope he'll wake up because like you don't. And with men it's a little different, right? Trying to break down, but it's like damn, you're like sometimes like man, shit, your ass be sick trying to get this person to understand and all this type of stuff, and I never forget, and it don't always happen. It happens more frequently, and I'm like, thank God. Um, the person or he um really got in a jam. I guess I hadn't heard from that person in a minute because I was every time I'm on the same subject. Every time I'm on, I just listen. I'm trying to tell you this is what is going to happen. I'm trying to tell you this, that, and the third. I'm telling you this, and the third. I know. And so when they stop, stop communication and stuff like that, then and when it comes to working or whatever, you hate that they stop that communication with your ass and you ain't got enough and all this. I'm like, shit, you might have been fucked up, right? But, and it's the same case. It's not, this is different when it ain't different, but I'm talking about, my personal life. Man, it was a while. And all my tears had them dried up. And I largely kind of got about them or whatever. And I'll never forget. I was not at this I love house. And baby, that phone ringing, y'all know I'm bad at it. Well, everybody know that I'm bad about answering the phone. I was bad about answering the phone back then, but now I'm really bad. But they called on that line. Ain't too many. I don't think. Maybe I think one person got that phone number. They got that because I didn't know that you supposed to have give out dummy numbers out here to the people who told me, warned me about all the people. It was too late. I was like, oh Lord, I gotta get a dummy phone. They right, you feel it up. Yeah, baby, these people are tracking with it. But so but I had that, what they call on that fat line. I saw the goddamn name and number pop up. It was like hello or whatever. Shit, stop playing with me. So I'm saying they gonna call me. Give a fuck. I'm like, where's out the fuck? Yeah. And baby, I hope all is good. The Lord gonna say, hey, we gonna let you in here because you that outweighs the bad. Thank you, Jesus. I can get no heat. But baby, when I tell you, they already call me walkie talkie, and that developed from that particular department. I told you I be on the move. You got to walk with me and tell me whatever, so I can shoot it back. Cause I got to move here and then everywhere. I ain't got time to be, stationary. You know, this is a burning down the house operation. If you work in a department where everything that comes through is completely negative, complaints, stuff you got to correct, whatever. If it's right, it don't come to that department. All wrong. Everything is wrong. Something, it's everything on child. I don't have time to be sitting down and having no damn uh no orange juice and shit and 3 meals and all of that. I ain't got time for none of that. Thank God I had a sofa in the office. Baby, you think I'm sleep? I done order some food. Shut that door. Not like it though. Shut it and make sure them blinds down. Baby, I'm in a calling hall. I'm asleep. I'm knocked out. And I've probably have done so much work that when I wake up, I'm still gonna be, caught up and I can probably still leave on time. Man, let me tell you that boy called, honey, you have thought I was part of the goddamn fire department. First thing, baby, I told such where I was going. I was leaving for I don't know when I'll be back. So I done got there and grabbed the pocketbook and keys. Shit. And I was them heels, I was damn near running. And now, but I got to call the people that don't have the badges. So I'm like, oh hell no, yeah. Ah, like Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm sorry. He called me just make better choices. You gotta wake up sometime. Make better damn choices. Shit. Oh, goddamn rescue wagon. But I don't know about that, y'all. Ooh, that's some bad information. I don't want to put that out. I don't know. And oh, I'm about to cry. You know what was a time that it should have also triggered something more deeply psychological that I don't know. I don't remember talking about it like that. I just remember these things that just wouldn't, and now it would not just now, but it was just naturally, like, here we go. Remember when she had to call in the office. I'm about to cry. And it was the mama. Shit. Ooh. And the sister. Mm-mm-mm. I think that was another opportunity, but they would have had to be in front of her to break. Because you heard that hesitation. Oh Lord. Oh, that's too much. I'm back crying. Mm-hmm. Damn. Mm. Fuck that. Look at them. Go find them underground people and they white people. And they help you snatch the people all the time. Some of them be in Canada, some of them be here. But you can find a lot of them close to the border. Go and snatch them. That's what they do, snatch them. They snatch your ass. They fuck that. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Call the police. You want to use my phone? Shit. The hell? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that little sister, one of the sisters, one of them, and you heard that hesitation in her voice, that was probably that was probably like one of the better times where you could have probably broke or you could have probably got. But you would have had to be what? It, probably in her face and whatever, because you can see that the call was being controlled. And you got and see this is when they needed professional help with people that do this shit, right? They would have told them that mama to please stop you know, like hollering and screaming, demanding and all that type of shit, right? Because it's helping solidify what she's being told. You know, or they probably say you and sometimes they'll say, well, how about you stay out of it, period. Right? And maybe try to the daughters or something like, but don't they out yeah would have been well not be, but yeah, she would have been like yeah, we ain't gonna let you talk because you be tripping. You fucking the shit up. Boy, that's crazy right there. Ooh, ooh. Uh-uh. But yeah, it's people that snatch them, honey. Invest in that. That is crazy. No, fuck it. Listen here. Who gonna call the police? What you gonna say? I kidnapped her, and I'm not talking about his situation. I mean, but what police gonna ask me? What they gonna say? Are you kidnapped the child from the kidnapper? I'm not calling him a kidnapper, but this is a situation where someone was kidnapped. Just say them girls that was in Ohio or whatever. Remember, and they found them 15 years later, and they was down in the basement having babies and abortions and shit, right? And I done got a goddamn, and I don't know how I would see. her, because I don't think they came out, but just this maybe somebody seen them or whatever, and we sit on that house and we get dropped up that motherfucker leave that house, and somebody has to verify, like if there's another adult in that house, whatever verification we would do, whatever. Fuck that. Listen here, we're going in. We're going in. Fuck all of that. Yeah, it's something, and what you gonna say? Well, he done kidnapped her for 15 years. I'm just kidnapped her back. Wait. Okay, how much am I do? Okay. I don't know. Shit, go to hell. Fuck all of that, baby. I put it on the line. What I believe in, my little fuck that. I fuck that. I throw it up in the air. I don't care about none of that. It was so funny when I know y'all heard the guy was talking about he made that white man number one, right? But when that was the first time about us talking about that story. Because I told you that's where I get it from. I'm gonna make you number one, okay? But when he told me that story, what happened before? This is a very accomplished person, right? Very accomplished person throughout the state. But he black first. And very, 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 very headstrong and all that extra shit, right? So he said, before he knew it, that white man had said something, nigga, or something like that. And before he knew, he had punched him. And I've seen him do all kind of shit. Like he go to shake somebody's hand, something like that. White people grabbing his arm, all that extra shit. So, and this is a part of, you heard us saying we be out there battling, okay? Shit, fuck all of that. But and he said that for a moment he hadn't thought about everything he had accomplished, but he finna throw it away. But it was too late. He had made that man number one. Yeah, fuck that. I mean, shit, man. Listen, just make sure the people give you some commissary or whatever. I don't know what they serving now. Maybe hamburgers and pizza. Shit, if you don't eat that shit, keep on Cheetos or something. I don't know what to tell you. But ain't nowhere in hell. No, listen, that situation is not going to be a situation that can take me out before it's resolved. I'm going to have to do something else. And what I mean by that is, gotta go.